sir.
I have already.
Where y'all at?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Stay over there.
Court is back in session. We're now ready to hear the trial of Atlanta versus Ruiz. Lando, you and your client can please take the defendant's bench. No. Go to the table, Mr. Ruiz, please. No,
we
Mr.
right here.
Ruiz.
We
Go
back
sit
here.
next to your attorney. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for the DA for our opening statement. Please be patient with our DA. She's had quite the night, as we all have.
Yes. Yeah, eat your food, baby.
Captain Wick? Captain Wick, can you hear me? Can you? I can hear you. Can you see? Oh no, there she is. Okay, it's okay. I was gonna ask you to check on her. Let me apologize to the court. I was yelling because I was frustrated, and I should always maintain my dignity. I'd like to apologize to my colleague, KB. My apologies for coming out of character. Before the break, our new DA, I apologize if you happen to see me like that. I don't take kindly to disrespect, but I should have maintained my dignity, strive to be better, and to provide a better example. Captain Wick, my sincerest apology. You are always a shining example of how a respectful officer should behave, and I should have also maintained my dignity in the face of adversity. We can all learn something from you. And who is this, a new cadet with you tonight with us?
Yeah, I'm Senior Officer Cloud.
Senior officer, I also apologize for my behavior.
No
I will
problems.
also strive, like you guys, to maintain my dignity in the face of adversity. To my staff members, my great friend, Harley, my apologies for not also maintaining decorum, even as I asked you to maintain yours. Troublefield, please do not allow my behavior, yelling and getting frustrated, to weigh heavily on how your decorum should be. Sir, we must always maintain our dignity. With that being said, yes, we're human.
Yeah.
And though I do apologize, and to the citizens, I apologize. Now, being said,
I just realized I was muted. So I'm saying, I'm an alien.
Opening statements, 1 minute.
Your Honor, we are in this.
We can't hear you.
Thank you. Where we are in a litigical catch-22 situation where my oath to civic duty as district attorney requires me to defend the state's interest to the best of my abilities as it pertains to the law. Legally, bombs confirmed to be detonatable or undetonatable cannot be ignored and ignoring them would open me not only to scrutiny, but potential sanctions, strikes against my bar license, as well as culpatory investigations of corruption. I couldn't risk that. So, we are here because it is now your duty to determine if this evidence is valid, allowing me to fulfill my duty as district attorney and defend state's evidence. And it also places the evidence in contention without anyone violating their oaths. I will offer reasonable and just explanation as to why these bombs should still be considered in this case. Thank you.
Ando, opening statement. 1 minute. And remember, this is a hearing for the admissibility of the bombs into evidence, and that is all.
Fellow Atlanteans, to the Justice Department, Your Honor, we understand the nature of this case and how this may be a catch-22. But at the same time, I mean, I would say there's still not even really acknowledgeable how to put this into words because I'm so upset with the facts of what's going on with this case here. My client, who's been labeled as a terrorist for having in his possession props that would appear to be bombs, was arrested while doing an injustice of the law, and he's responsible for that. And that's why, when also being released from police custody, he showed up to his court date. He did not run. He was looking to be held accountable for the crimes he did commit. What did he seek in return? Extra charges that are trying to be placed upon him that do not fit. I'll save the court some time, Your Honor. We're ready to get into this. We're ready to proceed.
All right.
Your Honor, I call Captain Lewick to the stand.
What you want? You want me right here, or you want me to outside?
Other side, please.
All right. I'm sorry. Let me not be ghetto in this court.
Oh, please, have you not seen this court?
Oh my god.
My witness is such a gentleman, Your Honor.
Jesus, I'm sorry. Have you not seen this court?
All right.
Hello, Captain Wick. How are you doing today? That is a pleasantry, not a question.
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So my first question is, being that you are a captain of this great law enforcement, may you briefly speak to your vast experience and knowledge as it pertains to law enforcement?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevancy.
I'll
His
allow
ex-
it.
So my badge number is 301. Just a captain of the APD. I've been here for about a year or so, but I have prior experience. I've been in this field for a very long time. I've come across some very grievous things, and I must say every day is different, and you never know what a person might have with them and what they're doing. So you just got to be vigilant to your surroundings.
Yes, and I'm sure you have a lot of experience in vigilance.
Like the last
so
case.
I say that this is my second question. Is it reasonable to assume your vast wealth of knowledge can enable you to make minor summations of evidence presented before you?
Yes.
With that being said, would a reasonable minor summation about undetonated explosives be that they can expire?
Objection, Your Honor.
Anything
Is
has-
that a question within the question?
No, it's not. It is.
So that
I
isn't a separate question from what you just asked him originally?
I'll amend. Is it a reasonable summation that explosives can expire as it pertains to your professional experience?
Yes. Explosives have expirations just like a lot of things, but explosives, even though they expire, they can be even more deadlier than even when they are not expired.
And within your professional expertise, are expired explosives still vulnerable to temperature or electromagnetic influence?
Objection, Your Honor. He's not a specialist. She cannot ask him that question with expecting a reasonable answer in return.
Affirming my question.
He's not a specialist. He's not a specialist.
And for affirming my question that these are reasonable summations within his expertise.
His expertise is not in dealing with demolitions.
Before I render, officer, have you had experience with explosives?
Yes, I have.
I'll allow it.
I have. When there has been a couple of people in the city, I'm not gonna even say a couple of people, a group of individuals. I don't know names or anything, but at one point in time, we did have heists here, where they had to rob a armored truck and have to use a bomb to basically blow the back off of the truck to get the money from inside of it. So yes, I'm familiar with these.
Okay, I'll allow it. Ask your question.
So I'm reiterating my sustained question. Within your reasonable expertise, is it reasonable to be cautious of expired bombs being vulnerable to temperature or electromagnetic influences?
Yes.
Objection. He's not a specialist, and you're asking him about. This is objection. This is. Go ahead. You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you withdrawing your objection, Counselor?
Because I see it's not going to be. I see it's not going to be is acknowledged. She's continuing to ask him questions that only a demolition specialist would be able to authenticate. He's a officer. He's a captain of the APD. He is not a demolition specialist. To ask him how bombs will react to electromagnetic fields or temperature. This is simple.
Good thing these are reasonable summations and not
so you mean those are
testimony.
reasonable guesses then, since he's not a specialist, correct?
Objection, that's not what I said, Your Honor.
Sustained on Lando's point. 3 words of question,
Is it remotely possible that temperature or magnetic influence can detonate an expired bomb?
Yeah, it's the same question. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That was my final question.
Cross-examination. You get 3 questions.
Sure. Without this being a question, how are you today, Captain? I'm pretty good, sir. I would like to say I value your service. You've been in service with the APD for over a year. You've already reached the rank of captain. It must really show your dedication to what you do. first question would be, what is your education background in demolition?
I have like 6 months into it, and that's it. But I don't
6
have
months
anything.
into what?
6 months into some training of demolition, but I don't have the full certificate for it because I stepped out of it.
Okay. Could you explain to me where these the educational courses or lessons that you obtained were gained?
They weren't gained here in the city of Atlanta.
Okay.
They have been under my belt and on my resume for since I've become an officer or in the field as a police officer since this is 2025. I want to say 2020.
Understood. Thank you. So, with you not fully completing classes and we have no record of it, would you so say yourself that those are very educated guesses or hypotheses that you have given how bombs are able to react to such fields, temperature, elements, and atmospheres around them?
Unfortunately, no, because if you do, I do a lot of research myself. So if you you as yourself can go online and look up how
Really?
to, what can. So if you do those things, I mean, you can pretty much know how a bomb would react in everything.
Online. Is this Google?
Nope.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
These are
I'm
documents that
asking
that I
questions.
already
I'm not
have, but
attacking you.
I'm stating this to you as an individual to saying that as you can do that. Me personally,
Understood.
I have
Okay.
my own.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I have my own.
I know. I get exactly what you're
text
saying.
documents, text documents, and videos, training videos that I still have. I mean, unfortunately, I can't show them now, but I went over those things. So yes.
Thank you, sir. No further questions, Your Honor.
PA, you have one question on the redirect.
Can't hear her.
Excuse me, Captain. Are you familiar with reactional dormancy?
Objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
And Your Honor, just to my one question has been answered. So for the record to explain what reactional dormancy is.
No, objection, Your Honor.
I just
He was
brought
asked
this into relevance. I have to explain it.
No. You just asked him the question of that. He did not give an answer, a proper answer. So now you're going to explain it to him what it is.
Compound questioning?
Yes, because you only get one question.
Thank you.
Abstain. JB asked one question. Now one question.
That was my question, and he answered yes, he's familiar.
No, you're okay. So that's it.
Exactly, but I threw a word out there that not everyone
you could
has
throw a
the
lot. You could throw a lot. He answered your one question.
I'll allow it.
Objection.
I'll allow it. Go ahead, JB.
Oh my God.
Reactional dormancy.
Landed quickly.
Reactional dormancy. Think of gasoline. We all know, or can reasonably assume, gasoline is flammable. But it's dormant when it's just sitting there minding its own business. But it becomes a problem when it runs into heat or some other detonation. But it's dormant just sitting there. The same philosophy applies to expired explosives.
done with the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I have no further questions for this amazing, esteemed, highly experienced captain.
I have one question on redirect.
You already had your redirect.
I'm sorry. I mean redirect. I had one more question, if applicable, Your Honor.
So
you can't ask him. You'd have to call him as your own witness.
Okay. I got something even better.
Now, and you'd have to do it after the defense rests.
No problem.
I mean, the prosecution. Prosecution, do you rest? JB, do you have any other witnesses?
no, I do not have any other witnesses.
Prosecution rests. It is now up to the defense. Defense, do you have any witnesses you'd like to call to the stand?
Yes, I like Officer Ruiz to stay at the. Officer. I'm sorry. I get your name, Captain. I like the captain to stay at the witness. Is he able? Okay, he's okay.
Get it together. Get it together.
You get 4 questions.
Okay, officer. Question. So upon most of the arrests you make, when you take in evidence, are you required to retest the evidence for authentication? You know, as if, like, let's say a person gets a bag of flour from a neighbor in a Ziploc bag. When he's caught with that, you don't automatically assume it's cocaine, right? You actually test these items you take into evidence from offenders, correct?
We don't test anything.
Wow, very interesting. No further questions with him, Your Honor.
KB, you get to ask 3 questions.
What? They're trying to smoke him?
Captain Wick, I understand that you yourself do not perform testing of evidence, do you?
No, I specifically don't.
Does a lab perform these tests?
Yes, once we put them in the evidence locker, then the lab.
Objection. So is that perjury? I just asked, do they test when they take these items in from perps? I mean, from offenders. I asked were the items tested. I didn't say specifically him. I asked were the items tested, and he said no, they don't test anything. And now we have a lab that tests all of a sudden. Is that not a perjury statement?
Your Honor, I do have to defend my witness from impeachment. This is not a perjury statement. He directly asked if the bombs were detonated, and the truthful answer
I
is
said
no.
nothing about
That
any
is
bombs
still
being
the answer.
detonated. I asked, was evidence taken off of criminals tested? That were my specific words. You heard me, Your Honor. I did not mention a bomb in that statement. So does she know something she's not supposed to?
Okay. Everybody go back to their corners. We're not accusing our officers of perjury on the stand. JB, clarify your question.
Captain Lou Wick, aside from, of course, observing any visible or ascertainable expiration date, how else would the authenticity of an explosive be determined? Or where?
Be on the label.
Thank you. And
next to the label should be a serial number, and then underneath it is an expiration date.
thank you, Captain. And in your professional experience, has there been evidence that can be
No,
determined
Goopy.
authentic by expertise
You don't use
independent
a
of
bomb
lab
as a
review.
tennis ball.
No, Goopy, not at all.
Thank you, Captain.
And though you get one redirect.
Did we not just state that the testing, you have laboratory testing?
Repeat that.
Did we not just your question, your answer, and your question and answer, your Q&A with the DA? Did you not just say that you guys had a testing facility, right? Or do you guys have a lab testing facility, correct? For such items taken off criminals when being processed, correct?
Yeah.
No further questions, Your Honor. Okay. He can be dismissed from the stand, Your Honor. I have another witness I'd like to call.
I do have a question for Captain, for clarity for my sake. Captain, before we left, when the counselor asked the bombs test, your other captain mentioned quite loudly that you guys do not test ammunition to see whether they are live or expired or defective. Which is true? Do you test?
So
Do you not test?
we don't test. So we don't, as officers, we don't test anything. It goes back into the evidence, and then after the evidence, either the our IA goes into doing whatever they do with the guns, whatever they do with the bullets or the bombs or whatever it is. So that's where all of that happens. That happens in the back office.
Okay. Now, how do we get the back office to test the evidence?
We will have to contact our internal affairs.
How long does it take to contact internal affairs?
Ooh, I would have to get with my chief on that one.
Your Honor, our defense of the validity argument of this evidence is that they are expired because, as you know, there are occurrences that happen within the city on high that are outside of our control, and due to those occurrences, explosives are all expired. But keep in mind
Your
that
Honor, she's reaching.
Keep in mind that does not
Objection,
mitigate.
Your Honor, she's reaching.
No, I'm not.
Very far.
A little bit. Here is what I am getting at. I'm trying to save us all a lot of time. This decision rests with me. So I would like some clarity while we're having this hearing. Remember, this is a hearing so that I can gain understanding as to why there is such a problem with having ammunition tested to see if it is real, live, or a dud. Now, I myself, in the dream world, have been both around live ammunition and unalived ammunition. One can blow up a block. The other, especially if it's defective or it has been drained of the chemical compounds that would cause an explosion for whatever reason, a hole in it or whatever, is no more dangerous than a basket. We need to know we are dealing with.
Excuse me.
Now, if this thing can be tested, if one of them can be tested to see if it detonates, we need to do that. So, officer, how long will it take to detonate the bomb in this?
Like I said, I'm not sure. I would have to get with my chief on that one. We go up to the chain of command, so I would have to go up to the next highest person.
In your experience, how long has it normally taken?
You're gonna be waiting for a minute.
And Your Honor, in an effort to save us time again due to uncontrollable higher occurrences with our functionality of life that happen with all explosives have become expired now that the armored trucks no longer drive through the city, if you understand what I'm saying. But keep in mind, even though the bombs are expired, that does not mitigate their potential damage when traveling around, or the temperatures they could be exposed to, or radio waves or magnetic forces that could cause
Objection,
an
Your Honor.
erroneous
She's
discharge.
still reaching. She's still
Expired
reaching, Your
firearms
Honor.
can still be unstable, even if the stability or the instability is not
Objection,
replicatable
Your
in
Honor.
a lab.
Objection, Your Honor. But they have testing labs according
The
to the
potential
officer.
catastrophic
Objection, Your Honor.
the catastrophic
She's reaching.
potential of an explosion of an unvalidatable bomb, an unreliable explosive or expired explosive can still potentially be dangerous.
I didn't think this one would
And the potential catastrophic nature of a misfiring of an expired
Your
bomb
Honor,
is what must be
objection.
considered,
Objection.
irregardless of lab
She's
replicatability.
reaching and giving